Like and subscribe might be a simple click for you, but it will lead to a transformational change of our channel. Support us to achieve 5 million subscribers by year 2028. The movie begins with a man under the influence of drugs, throwing duffel bags filled with cocaine out of an airplane. After tossing all the bags, he straps on a parachute and puts on a pair of stylish sunglasses. With adrenaline coursing through his veins, he prepares to leap out of the plane. He jumps but stumbles as he exits the aircraft. In the next scene, we meet tourists Olaf, Christopher, and Elsa, who are enjoying a nature walk while talking about their upcoming wedding. As they stroll through the woods, Olaf notices a bear behaving strangely. Elsa uses binoculars to see what he's talking about, but all she sees is an adorable bear. When Olaf takes the binoculars, he is startled to find the bear much closer than expected. They immediately run away, but Olaf trips, and the bear catches up to them. Elsa turns around, and the bear kills her, prompting Olaf to flee. Following the incident with the man who jumped from the plane, the police identify him the next day as Andrew C. Thornton II, a drug trafficker. We then meet David and Sid White, two drug dealers discussing the late Andrew Thornton but only interested in the duffel bags packed with 30 kilos of cocaine. Later that day, Dee Dee and Henry decide to skip school and visit a waterfall to draw. They are aware the school will notify their parents, but they don't care. After a bike ride, their mom, Sari, decides to rest after a shower until a phone call from the school scares her. The school informs Sari that her daughter isn't in class, and she finds a book bag in the yard. Inside, she discovers a map with a location called Secret Falls circled. She takes her bike and heads there. Meanwhile, the kids are marking trees to avoid getting lost when Dee Dee finds a strange package in a bush. She calls Henry over, and they conclude it's cocaine. Henry pretends to know about cocaine and claims he has tried it before. Dee Dee opens the package and tells Henry to prove it. Henry uses a knife to scoop some cocaine, puts it in his mouth, then quickly spits it out, causing Dee Dee to laugh. Dee Dee tries it too and has the same reaction. Soon after, they find more cocaine, but it looks like something got to it first. Suddenly, a bear appears in the background. Hearing a noise behind them, they turn around, shocked to see a bear. They stand still, but the bear sneezes cocaine onto their faces, causing them to panic and run away. Sari arrives at the visitor center looking for Ranger Liz and asks if she has seen her daughter. The ranger suggests the girl might be a runaway, frustrating Sari. Sari asks for directions to Secret Falls, and the ranger agrees to let her join their trip there. Ranger Liz warns Sari about a gang of delinquent teens called the Duchamps who attack visitors in the forest. David and Eddie arrive at the visitor center. After using the bathroom, David notices the Duchamps gang staring at him. Stash swings a knife at David, but David fights back, knocking them down one by one, even throwing one into a toilet. Moments later, David finds a knife in his backhand when Eddie walks in and sees the unconscious teens. David explains they tried to kill him, and Eddie finds a pack of cocaine on them. They wake Stash and threaten to shoot him if he doesn't lead them to the other cocaine packs. Sari reaches Secret Falls and calls out for her kids. She hears them calling for help but doesn't see them until she finds Henry in a tree. Furious, she quickly learns from Henry that a bear attacked them and took Dee Dee. Terrified, everyone hears something moving nearby. Sari then witnesses a bear attacking the ranger and Peter. Ranger Liz starts shooting at Peter, thinking he's the bear, while the bear is actually behind her. The bear attacks Liz, causing her to accidentally shoot her gun, nearly hitting Sari. Ranger Liz is badly wounded and leaves everyone behind. Peter climbs a tree in fear, while Henry reassures him that bears can't climb trees, but then they remember bears can climb. As Sari hides, the bear climbs the tree toward Henry. Just as it's about to attack, it smells cocaine on Peter's shirt and climbs his tree instead, killing Peter. Henry escapes while the bear eats Peter's leg, and Sari and Henry flee. Ranger Liz reaches the visitor center and tells a teen to call an ambulance. While reloading her weapon, she recognizes the Duchamps gang and threatens them until one mentions someone outside. She tells one to open the door while she aims her gun. To everyone's shock, it's the bear. The ranger attempts to shoot but misses, killing one of the Duchamps teens. The bear leaves but soon returns, catching another off guard. Detective Bob Springs arrives at the visitor center, unaware of the recent events inside. The mother and Henry discover clues left by Dee Dee and begin to follow them. Meanwhile, an ambulance arrives at the visitor center. As the medics struggle to get inside, they encounter a scene of carnage with a dead body and blood everywhere. The female medic rushes to help the ranger, while the male medic enters a room and sees a severed head drop. Spotting a bear in the corner, he nervously closes the door, but the bear breaks through. Facing the bear, he throws a duffel bag at it, causing the bear to lose interest and allowing him to escape to the truck, just as the driver is about to leave. Moments later, Ranger Liz nearly shoots the male EMT with her poor aim while trying to hit the bear. The bear makes a dramatic leap into the truck, throwing the ranger out and killing her. The driver, unaware of the bear inside, stops the vehicle, giving the bear the opportunity to kill him. The vehicle crashes into a tree, killing everyone but the bear. The scene shifts to David, Eddie, and Stash, still on their way to a gazebo where Stash claims all the cocaine is hidden. Stash shares stories about his gang and their plans to move to New York City. Detective Bob Springs arrives at the gazebo first and relaxes until he notices a suspicious bag in the ceiling. He tries to retrieve it. A mysterious figure exits a car with a rifle as the drug dealers reach the gazebo. Stash reveals the package is gone, angering David, who pulls out a gun. Suddenly, the detective aims his gun at David, ordering him to drop his weapon. The detective, too scared to jump down, tries to find an easier way down, unaware that David plans to retrieve his gun. Eddie tries to help the detective, but David's attempt to grab the gun results in him getting his fingers shot off. Furious, David points the gun at the detective, getting shot in return. Sari and Henry arrive at a river, where Sari finds Dee Dee's sweater, realizing they are close. They cross the river, and the scene cuts to Dee Dee, injured and alone in a cave. As the detective and David argue, Eddie and Stash try to calm David. The detective warns them all they face 10 to 15 years in prison. Stash, hearing this, insists he's innocent and doesn't belong there. David spots a bear and warns the others, who initially think it's a trick until they see the bear approaching. They hide and play dead as the bear investigates. Meanwhile, Sari and Henry find Olaf, who is crying because his wife Elsa was eaten by a bear. Sari explains she's looking for her daughter and asks if he's seen her. Olaf agrees to help. Back at the gazebo, Eddie is trapped under the bear. David signals to the detective for a truce, suggesting they check if the bear is dead. As David checks the bear's pulse, cocaine falls out of his pocket. The bear sniffs it, wakes up, and starts acting erratically. David informs the others that the bear is alive, and they all back away. The bear consumes the cocaine, making snow angels in the dirt, confusing everyone. The bear then grabs Eddie but doesn't harm him. David wants to shoot, but the detective prefers to observe the bear's reaction to the cocaine. The bear starts cuddling Eddie, and just as it's about to attack, the detective distracts it with more cocaine. The bear revels in the cocaine, giving everyone a chance to escape. David demands the duffel bag from the detective, claiming it's worth $14 million. The detective reminds David of their truce, but suddenly, the detective is shot by Sid White. Hearing the shots, the bear chases after David and Eddie, and the detective kicks the duffel bag off the roof. The bear notices the duffel bag and approaches it. David and Eddie encounter Sid and inform him they recovered some of the cocaine, but a bear consumed most of it. Sid tells his son Eddie that they need to retrieve all the lost cocaine, warning that dangerous people will come after their family if they fail. Sid emphasizes the urgency, and David mentions they found another bag nearby. Upon arriving at the location, they question the detective, who reveals he gave the bag to the bear. When Sid asks where the bear went, the detective cryptically says he has been chasing it for years. The detective's partner emerges, briefly giving him hope, but she reveals she has been working with the criminals. Apologizing, she leaves the detective feeling betrayed by her and the department. As Sid threatens the detective, demanding to know the bear's whereabouts or he will harm the detective's dog, the detective mocks them for chasing a drugged-up bear. Eventually, everyone leaves, including his partner, leaving the detective to die alone. In the next scene, the bear drags the bag to an unknown place. Olaf guides Sari and Henry to a cave, warning them of a lurking bear inside. Despite the warning, he gives them a flashlight. Meanwhile, Sid, Eddie, David, and the corrupt cop track the bear. Inside the cave, Sari and Henry find a duffel bag surrounded by 3 baby bears covered in cocaine. They reunite with Dee Dee, who assures them the cubs are harmless. Dee Dee shows her wounded leg and apologizes for skipping school, but Sari is just relieved she is safe. Suddenly, they hear a scream, prompting them to find an exit. At the same time, Sid's group discovers the cave and another cocaine-filled duffel bag. As they prepare to leave, Sid insists on continuing. When the cop tries to leave, Sid aims his gun at her, but David intervenes, allowing the cop to escape. Sid mocks Eddie and David as they delve deeper into the cave. Sorry overhears their conversation and hides with the kids. When Sid finds another bag, he spots Sorry. David suggests leaving because of the kids, but Sid refuses. Eddie attempts to retrieve the cocaine, but it's stuck. Sorry announces she's leaving and won't tell anyone, but Sid threatens her. The cubs approach Sid, and he orders Eddie and David to shoot, but they refuse and drop their guns. Sid tosses his gun to David, but Sorry catches it, gaining control. She declares she's taking the kids home. At that moment, the cocaine bear appears. Sorry tells the kids to jump on the count of 3. Sid tries feeding the cubs cocaine to distract them. As the bear closes in, Sid grabs his gun and shoots but misses, hitting David in the neck. He shoots again, wounding the bear, which falls off the cliff. As Sid tries to retrieve the duffel bag, a pack of cocaine breaks open. The bear, rejuvenated by the scent, climbs back up. The bear attacks Sid, slashing his stomach and causing him to hang from the cliff edge. The bear finishes him off by throwing him down, and the cubs eat him. Meanwhile, Sorry, Dee Dee, and Henry escape safely. David, severely injured, is comforted by Eddie, who expresses his friendship and regrets. Sorry, revealing she is a nurse, swims to help David, saving his life. In the end, everyone goes home. The cop gives Eddie the detective's dog, and they bid their farewells. David survives thanks to Sorry's intervention. Stash heads to New York alone, mourning the loss of his friends. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification button so that you don't miss any of our video updates.